Over the past couple of weeks, we've been following a story that touches on the issue of the culture war in America. And for what it is, you wouldn't think that this would be such a big deal. I mean, it involves one of America's favorite pastimes, drinking beer. Yes, I'm referring to Anheuser-Busch's decision, particularly through its Bud Light division, to enter into a marketing agreement with TikTok star and trans activist Dylan Mulvaney that Dylan Mulvaney do some marketing for their beer. Now, if you've been following the story, you know that from a PR standpoint, Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light in particular have been suffering disastrous consequences from this decision. But people have been asking, okay, so they're suffering on a PR front. Are they suffering on a financial front? Well, that sort of depends on how you look at it. If you're talking about the totality overall of Anheuser-Busch as a company with different product lines, okay, this may not make that big of a difference. But when it comes to Bud Light in particular, ladies and gentlemen, the evidence is in and it is incontrovertible. Bud Light is bleeding financially. Hang on, we're going to get into all this in just a second. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while now and seen the videos I've been posting about this story, you'll know that I've been asking the question, much like everybody else, how is this affecting Bud Light's bottom line financially? Now, I made the statement that it might be a little while before we know for sure exactly how this is going to affect them as far as money is concerned. Sales. Well, the sales data is starting to come in, and this does not look good for Bud Light. I take you to the front page of a website called brewbound.com. Headline: Bud Light off premise sales and volume decline in first week of boycott. Impact, quote, rough, but not catastrophic. In an article written by Justin Kendall, we read the following: Sales data is now out showing the first week of conservative led boycott. I disagree with that term, by the way. It's not a conservative led boycott. It is a organic grassroots boycott. It just so happens there are conservatives who are prominent at the front of this thing. Conservative led boycott of Anheuser-Busch's InBev Bud Light brand following the world's largest beer maker's March Madness activation with Dylan Mulvaney, an influencer who documents his life. They use the word her in the article, his life as a transgender woman. According to off premise data from market research firm NIQ, formerly Nelson IQ, for the week ending April 8th, packages of Bud Light showed accelerating sales and shares decline, while Molson Coors competing light lager brands Coors Light and Miller Lite showed a noticeable uptick in sales and share per Dave Williams of Bump Williams Consulting. Quote, that being said, while the increased declines in Bud Light were apparent, they were not completely earth-shattering in terms of magnitude, Williams wrote. Now, this will be interesting to monitor over coming weeks to see if this slide continues, but for now it looks to be rough, but not catastrophic. For the week ending April 8, Bud Light posted declines in off-premise dollar sales nearly minus 7%, volume minus 10.7%, and dollar share minus 3.7%. By comparison, for the week ending April 1, Bud Light recorded declines in dollar sales of 1.6, volume minus 6.4, and dollars share 0.7 negative, according to NIQ data shared by Williams. Okay, let's talk about all this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the real first hard data that we're getting that shows what the actual effect of this ad campaign with Dylan Mulvaney has been on Bud Light. The period in question is April the 1st to April the 8th. The first week after those ads went out on Instagram and TikTok. And people got their reaction to it. Now, I will agree with this gentleman named Williams from the consulting firm of Bump Williams, where he says, we're going to need to see what this looked like over the coming weeks. I will agree with that. You can't take 1 week's worth of data and say we have a trend. If we've got 3 weeks worth of data showing sales decline for Bud Light, yeah, we got a trend, and they're really, really hurting at that point. But for 1 week's worth of data, they are bleeding. Let me go back to the numbers again. Now, let me give you the period that was the last week of March, and it ended on April the 1st. Let me go back to that. For the week ending April the 1st, Bud Light recorded decline in dollar sales of minus 1.6%, volume of minus 6.4%, and dollars of minus 0.7%, according to Nielsen IQ data. Now, keep in mind, that's before this Dylan Mulvaney ad hits Instagram and TikTok. Now listen to the numbers 1 week later. Decline in off-premise dollar sales down 7%, volume minus 10.7, and dollar share minus 3.7. Now, just quick math. That's about a 5.5% decrease in terms of dollar sales. That's about a 4% increase of the decrease in volume, and a definite decrease in dollar share. Ladies and gentlemen, in simple language, they bled blood. Now, like I say, I agree with the consultant, this Williams fellow. This is going to take a little bit more time to see how this is really playing out. But after 1 week of hard data, it's incontrovertible now. They have bled financially because of this. The question becomes, as data keeps rolling in over the next couple of weeks, how much more are they going to lose money on Bud Light? Now, that's just the financial side of it. Lest you think that's the only piece of evidence that Anheuser-Busch is looking at Bud Light and realizing, okay, we may have really screwed up here. I'm going to show you something in a second. There have been a couple of scalps taken out because of this. Hang on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I mentioned a moment ago that apparently this whole issue and the fallout have left Anheuser-Busch in a position where they've got to look for some scalps to take out in order to satisfy the war cry that's out there. Well, apparently Anheuser-Busch has made the decision about who's going to take the fall. Take a look at this. As data was coming out over the weekend about the sales numbers on Bud Light, these headlines started to surface, and I found this one in the UK Daily Mail. Check this out. Bud Light under fire, marketing VP, quote, takes leave of absence after Dylan Mulvaney controversy and is replaced by Budweiser executive. Alyssa Heinerscheid, the vice president of marketing for Bud Light, has taken a leave of absence, Ad Age reported on Friday. Heinerscheid was brought in June of 2022 with a self-declared mission of making the beer less fratty, and on April the 1st, the beer partnered with a trans influencer. The Dylan Mulvaney partnership wiped $6 billion off the value of the company, which they've recovered for the most part. Heinerscheid has been replaced by Budweiser Global Marketing VP Todd Allen. We read in this article, written by Harriet Alexander and also Alex Hammer of the dailymail.com, the Bud Light marketing executive whose team oversaw its disastrous partnership with trans activist Dylan Mulvaney has taken a leave of absence, according to a report on Friday. Alyssa Heinerscheid was hired to overhaul Bud Light's marketing in June 2022 with the vision of freshening up the image, but that took a disastrous turn on April the 1st when the partnership with Mulvaney was announced, sparking a boycott and knocking $6 billion from the company's value. Heinerscheid is being replaced by Vice President of Global Marketing for Budweiser, Todd Allen, according to Ad Age. DailyMail.com has approached Bud Light for comment. Now, let me back up a second. There was a video that I did about this, and I showed a clip of Heinerscheid where she said that, the beer sales have been in decline for a long time. We need to reach a younger demographic, and I'm going to go back and show you some of the quotes from that article. Give me 1 second. Take a look at this. By way of refreshing everyone's memory, Heinerscheid made statements like the following, quote, I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light, and it was this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a long time. If we do not attract younger drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this iconic brand. What does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. Well, Alyssa, honey, I got bad news for you. Your insulated bubble of a view about your clientele and not understanding who you're trying to market to has led to you taking a leave of absence. In simpler language, honey, you're about to lose your job. And I do feel sorry for you. I really do. I'm not trying to be malicious at this. I read the words take a leave of absence. That could mean one of two things. Okay, maybe you're just going off the grid for a while. On the other hand, I've seen that kind of language before used in different workplaces, and that usually means they're letting you go and they're just trying to be nice about how they say it. But like I say, in all seriousness, I really hope that's not the case. And for my part, I hope you learn from this. But it turns out, folks, that Alyssa Heinerscheid may not be the only person who's taking a leave of absence. I found this article late this afternoon, and everybody's been making a big deal about the Heinerscheid leave of absence. But look at this. This comes from The Spun, which is kind of a offshoot of Sports Illustrated. Headline: Bud Light makes decision on executives who oversaw a controversial promotion. We read a little further into this article. Anheuser-Busch has placed 2 executives on leave following a controversy with a March Madness promotion. Now, everybody's already heard about Heinerscheid, but check this out. The popular brewing company came under fire when they did a brand deal with transgender activist and influencer Dylan Mulvaney as part of a March Madness. Mulvaney's promotion went viral, though not everyone was happy with it. Now, 2 executives are on leave. Reading a little further into this article, Wall Street Journal reports Ms. Heinerscheid and her boss, Daniel Blake, who oversees marketing for Anheuser-Busch's mainstream brands, took leave of absences. The company said on Sunday, quote, given the circumstances, Alyssa has decided to take a leave of absence, or was maybe shown the door for a little while, which we support. An Anheuser-Busch spokesman said in an email, Daniel has also decided to take a leave of absence. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently one head wasn't good enough. The way I'm interpreting that, the higher ups at Anheuser-Busch are like, no. Alyssa may have green-lighted this, but she didn't do it without her boss's knowledge. So this is a 2-for-1 deal. They're going to get him out of the way. They're going to get him out of the limelight. They're going to try and cool this thing off. Anheuser-Busch, that is. Now, are they on a leave of absence or did they lose their jobs? Sadly, I'm inclined to think they're going to lose their jobs over this. But we'll see. But yeah, the evidence is in. Anheuser-Busch's Bud Light brand is bleeding financially. The executives at Anheuser-Busch are looking for scalps to take out because of it. And at this point, they may have found 2 of them. But that's my take on the whole thing. What do you think? As we start to wrap up this video, as always, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, please do so. Number 2, hit the notification bell. I want to make sure you're always aware when we are posting new videos. Number 3, if you have friends of yours that you think would enjoy this content, please share it around. I'm a one-man band. I'll take all the help I can get. And also, give me a thumbs up on the video. And finally, one last thing. This channel has been up and running ever since really the beginning of March. We are now up to almost 200 subscribers on YouTube and about 35 on Rumble. Those numbers may seem small compared to other people, but with a grateful heart for everyone who has subscribed to this channel so far, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here, subscribing to my channel, enjoying the content, and coming back for more. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.